What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you are listening, Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know we always keep it real. Let's get straight into it, man. I'm ready to snap. I'm ready to go off. I'm tired of this BS, bro. I'm tired of y'all playing with my quarterback one. Now, look, a lot of y'all, I know some of y'all might get tired of me continually having to defend this man, Jalen Hurts, but every single week, every single year, it's something new, and it's pissing me off. Beginning of this season, the turnovers. Then they went ahead and cleaned that up. Oh, you ain't play nobody. Then he goes ahead, outplays Joe Burrow, outplays Matthew Stafford, outplays Lamar Jackson. Now the new narrative is Saquon Barkley is carrying Jalen Hurts, and this defense is carrying Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. Was Saquon Barkley drafted by the Eagles? I'm sorry. Was Saquon Barkley on this team in 2023, in 2022, in 2021? For 3 straight years, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, and this Eagles team marched to the playoffs. Was Saquon Barkley the running back when the Eagles and Jalen Hurts got to the Super Bowl? No, I ain't gonna lie. This is not a knock on Saquon Barkley at all. It's not a knock at all. I see Saquon Barkley like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors because the Eagles were already a well-oiled machine. Now, I'm not saying the Eagles already won a chip and all that, but it was overkill to add Saquon on the Eagles. It was overkill to add Kevin Durant on the Warriors. And one thing that Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts do that's very, very similar to Steph Curry and Kevin Durant was that Jalen Hurts has the ability and the self-awareness to be like, I'm going to let Saquon Barkley cook. I'm content with myself. I'm cool. As long as we win it, I don't care. And what happened with Steph Curry? It was his team, and he gave the reins to KD and said, go off, gang. And they won back-to-back chips and would have three-peated if Kevin Durant did not tear his Achilles. So what are we talking about? We're in a situation where, yes, Jalen Hurts, if he wants to, he can be Superman. For sure. Back to the whole, Saquon Barkley's carrying Jalen Hurts. So did A.J. Brown not just come off back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons? Did he not just do that? Did the Eagles last year not have a guy in A.J. Brown, 1,400 yards, Devontae Smith, over 1,000 yards, Dallas Goedert getting active? I'm just trying to figure out, like, it's already been a well-oiled machine before Saquon. It has. It has. So I'm just really trying to understand this narrative, and I'm going to give y'all, before I lose my train of thought, I'm going to give y'all 2 quarterbacks that everybody be saying are the best things since sliced bread, and they benefit from a heavy running game, right? Y'all talking about how Jalen Hurts is his game manager and Saquon Barkley's carrying him and he relies so much on this, rushing attack. What about Josh Allen? I remember Josh Allen with Ken Dorsey was a turnover machine, just like Jalen Hurts was before the Eagles found their identity and ran the ball. So what did Josh Allen do? He had a league-leading 11 interceptions. He was out here. I'll give y'all the numbers, right? Under Ken Dorsey in 2023, mind you, this was when the Bills, they were like 5-5, I believe. They just lost to the Broncos and, Dorsey got fired. Under Ken Dorsey, Josh Allen averaged 253 passing yards a game and only 116 rushing yards a game. Versus with Joe Brady last year, and it's a reason why he's the OC now for them still, they had dipped. So they went from 253 passing yards to 212. Then they went from 116 rushing yards and jumped up to 153. See, what Joe Brady saw was that Josh Allen is being Superman too much. Josh Allen is doing too many superhero plays, and that's going to cause you to sometimes make an ill-advised decision trying to be Superman, and you're going to turn over the ball. And we saw that in the beginning of this season, Kellen Moore had Jalen Hurts throw the ball 30 plus times, acting like he's this pocket passer, and that's not really his game. But it's not even about being a pocket passer. It's the fact that winning football is running the ball. Running the ball. Tua Tagovailoa can pass all he wants. He don't win. Justin Herbert, before he got Jim Harbaugh, was passing for all these yards. All these yards, all this stuff. Oh my God, Herbert this. He throws a pretty ball. He throws such a phenomenal ball. He was losing. And then he got a coach in Jim Harbaugh that drafted Joe Alt and said, we're going to run the damn football. And the Chargers are winning. Same with the Josh Allen and the Bills. They then relied on James Cook. I'll give you this other stat, because guess what? At Real Talk, we do research. I'm not playing with y'all today. One thing that Joe Brady did was that he saw we need to get James Cook involved more. So he saw how efficient James Cook was in the first half of last season. He was like, all right, bet we need to go ahead and give him more carries. So from the first 10 weeks of last season, right, Cook was 20th in the NFL in carries, but 6th in yards. That's extremely efficient. And then from weeks 11 to 18, he was 10th in the league in carries and finished 4th in yards from scrimmage. That's the Joe Brady effect. Now, I don't see anybody saying that Josh Allen is a James Cook merchant or Josh Allen needs a running game and all this stuff. No, because for certain quarterbacks, we see the certain narratives. You feel what I'm trying to say? Going back to the Justin Herbert situation. With Justin Herbert, the Chargers have the 5th highest design run rate at 46% in the NFL this season, after ranking the 6th lowest, 35%, in 2023. Justin Herbert, just like Jalen Hurts, is averaging a career high in yards per attempt, a career high in passer rating, just like Jalen Hurts. So, maybe if you run the ball, that allows the quarterback to be his best self. So it's not just exclusive to Jalen Hurts. It's not just exclusive to the Eagles. It's exclusive for everybody. It's not even exclusive. It's inclusive. Come on. So I'm getting tired of this narrative. I'm getting tired of this stuff. And what I see with this Eagles team, one thing I love about this Eagles team, the Eagles remind me of Gervonta Tank Davis. They remind me of Tank, man. Because just like Tank, in that first quarter, with Tank in those first 3 or 4 rounds, he feels the opponent out. And with Tank, he be letting his opponents just, maybe win round 1, win round 2, win round 3. And the Eagles, they start off slow. They aren't that good in the first quarter. Maybe that's just them just feeling out the team. Maybe that's Hurts and Saquon and A.J. Brown in this offense. And Kellen Moore just being like, all right, we see what y'all doing. And then come in the second quarter, like Jalen Hurts in this offense did. He went 8 for 9. 99 yards. Rushing the ball to a touchdown. Passing the ball for a touchdown. Ultimately, what I see from this Eagles team is that they'll go ahead and start off slow, but at the end of the game, they'll have that knockout blow. Just like Gervonta Tank Davis, night, turkey boy. Night, turkey burger. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So again, just like Tank Davis, the Eagles will start off slow, feel their opponent out, and at the end of the game, it's Saquon Barkley that delivers that knockout blow. That goes for 70 yards to the crib. It goes for a 25-yard run on the best run defense or top 2 run defense in the league. Yeah, okay. And speaking of the Ravens game, let me just talk about that real quick because the NFL, the NFC specifically, should be petrified of the Eagles because of how they beat the Ravens. Now, we all know the Ravens' pass defense is terrible. It's putrid. It's horrific. So I thought going into the game that the Eagles were going to expose the Ravens secondary. They said, nah, we're going to show you that your biggest strength is nothing compared to our biggest strength, which is running the ball. I love it. And when Nick Sirianni said they had to match our physicality after the game, he was dead serious. And so what I see from this, the Lions should be like, dang, they bullied the Ravens. They beat the Ravens at their own game. They didn't pass the ball something crazy. Hurts only had 118 yards. But they bullied them. They kept pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding until at a certain point the Ravens were like, I give up, gang. I'm tapping out. And so the Lions should be like, dang. I mean, plus, they got all those injuries on their defensive line. They should be like, dang, we don't want to see an Eagles team like that. The teams in the NFC, they want the Eagles to pass the ball. They want them to pass the ball. I love the fact that the new narrative is that the Eagles are hiding Jalen Hurts and all this stuff. And then what does Howard Roseman and this team do? They go get a fullback to then double down on what they're going to do, which is run the ball. We don't care. It's Philly versus everybody. Y'all gonna hate us anyway. Hurts can throw for 250 yards, 300 yards. Y'all still gonna say something. So guess what, Turkey boy? We gonna keep running the ball. You gonna keep running the ball. And then speaking of my man, Kari, blazing game. Let's talk about him real quick. He's playing 66 games, 21 starts for the Titans and the Bears. And 97% of his 458 snaps have been in the run game, coming off as a blocker. Now, I will say that Kari has shown flashes in his highlights of also being a threat to, catch the ball. Now, I'm not saying like he's so low on the depth chart in terms of like catching the rock. But what I'm really trying to say is that like he's at least going to be a threat. Somebody that like you have to think about. I had to think about. Maybe threat is too big of a word. Maybe threat's too big of a word. But at the very least, he's somebody that you have to think about. And one thing that I love about the whole Kari blazing game signing was the fact that he played with prime Derrick Henry. So he goes from playing with prime Derrick Henry in Tennessee and being the lead fullback for him to then potentially being the lead fullback for Saquon Barkley if and when he gets elevated to the active roster. So going from Derrick Henry to Saquon Barkley, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So he knows exactly what he's doing, dog. And he also has that underdog mentality of, I was undrafted. I'm also playing a position that is like a dinosaur in this league. Like Kyle Juszczyk with the 49ers, that's like an aberration. The whole fullback position, because of the way that the league is going with throwing the football. Now, I do believe that with this revelation of the running back position, with Saquon and Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, you're going to be able to see, maybe possibly a resurgence of the fullback position potentially. But with teams throwing the ball more, the whole fullback has been like, well, we don't really need y'all. So ultimately, I feel like Kari blazing game, he gonna have that chip on his shoulder. He gonna have the underdog mentality of trying to prove something. But not like being thirsty, but I feel like he's like, yo, like anything y'all want me to do, I'll do it. I heard he was in the tight end room with Grant Calcaterra, CJ, forget his last name, but he was in the Dallas Goedert's injured right now. But just learning how they blocked, and you saw Grant last game be the lead blocker in the fullback position. So I feel very great about that signing. It's a great signing to show, hey, look, we're gonna continue doing what we do. So I love that too. I love that too. And ultimately too, Nick Sirianni. Let me talk about him real quick. Look, Nick Sirianni currently has the best win percentage of active head coaches in the league. You may not like his methods. I don't like his methods sometimes. But I'm looking at a guy in Zach Bond that's talking to N'Kobe Dean and is saying this guy believes in us. And I'm saying all that talk about y'all saying Dan Campbell and his players love him. Oh, he's so much far better than Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni players love him too. They love him too. This is why I've been saying that Campbell and Sirianni are the same, at least. But you can make an argument right now and just not even an argument. The fact is, Sirianni has a better record all time than Dan Campbell. That's a fact. So that's why I got so frustrated and people trying to call me crazy for saying that I would rather, well, I'd rather have, but like the notion that like Nick Sirianni is gonna lose the Eagles a game versus the Lions because Dan Campbell is such better of a coach is such recency bias, bro. It's such a poor take. Like if that is the case, it's not gonna be because of Dan Campbell and Sirianni. It's gonna be because Ben Johnson is coaching circles around Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore is getting out coached by Aaron Glenn. That's if that happens, that's gonna be. I don't see a situation where like Sirianni flat out loses the game. Now he was tripping. Don't get me wrong. Like, I was very, very critical of him, but I give credit where credit's due, and I keep it real. Again, if the Eagles are playing the Chiefs, yes, we're at a huge head coach disadvantage right there for sure. Mike Tomlin still is like yeah, we're at a head coaching disadvantage for sure. Ravens and nah, Jim Harbaugh, nah, John Harbaugh, nobody, nah. That's an overrated coach. That's an overrated coach right there. But one of my last points before I head off, like what I see from Nick Sirianni that I really had to tip my cap, give my salute, and be like, yo, you deserve credit for this Eagles win streak is the fact that he has self-awareness to realize he doesn't know everything. And he listens to his players. What did Tim McManus, the Eagles reporter for ESPN, say? After the bye week, it was the Eagles offensive line that went to Sirianni and said, run the damn football, Nick. Run the damn football. And since that bye week, we have seen this Eagles team be the best run offense in the NFL and find their identity of number one, running the ball, number two, or like 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say, be a tremendous defense. So I look at this and I'm like, dog, I got to salute because ultimately he wasn't stuck in his own ways. We see a guy in Jim Harbaugh that doesn't give the ball to Derrick Henry after he's been told multiple times, run the ball with your man, or they, freeze up in big games and say that we're not going to run the ball and all this stuff. We're going to make Lamar throw the ball 30 plus times, and we see the results of that. But Sirianni has self-awareness. And in an age where people don't have self-awareness, you have to tip your cap. That's what it is, bro. That's exactly what it is, bro. So again, I'm going to list my points again. The Eagles are like Javonte Tank Davis. They might start off slow, but they're going to give you that knockout punch in the end. Jalen Hurts, the whole game manager narrative. What about Josh Allen? What about Justin Herbert? I'm just trying to figure out when are we going to like just be real and just give the man his props. Last thing before I head off. This is my last John. because all right. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, there's no quarterback that I want with the ball in his hands more than Jalen Hurts. Over Josh Allen, over Lamar Jackson for sure. Joe Burrow, whoever you want to say, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, whoever y'all favorite quarterback, y'all guy is, I'm taking Jalen Hurts game for my life. Game for my life, bro. He always makes the winning play. It might not show up in the box score, but if you actually watch the game, like in that Ravens game, what did he do? He was down 9 points. In that second quarter, he was lights out. Lights out. He scored 2 touchdowns when it mattered versus when Lamar Jackson, he scored that garbage time touchdown when it didn't matter. And now you have the Ravens fans, oh, Justin Tucker it is, so he missed field goals. Well, maybe if you scored a touchdown, you wouldn't be relying on your kicker. Maybe if your quarterback ran the ball when he should have ran the ball and made that winning play, you wouldn't have to kick field goals or rely on a guy who hasn't shown up all year. Maybe so. So I see a guy in Jalen Hurts, he always makes the winning play. And that's why, again, Saquon Barkley was like, I can't explain it, but he got that it. He got that it. He got that it. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Some people, they have it or they don't. In basketball, game for my life, I'm picking Jimmy Butler over James Harden all day, every day. Now, is James Harden a better player than Jimmy Butler? For sure. More talented? For sure. But Butler got that it factor. Butler got that it factor. You know it. You know it don't matter what the box score looking like, how many points he has, how many assists he has, whatever the case may be, you know he's going to make that winning play. Versus a guy like Harden, he might be more flashy. A guy like Justin Herbert, he might be more flashy, throw a prettier deep ball or Tua Tagovailoa, but these guys lose. They're losers. I'm picking the winner over the loser. I'm picking the winner over the more talented guy. What do I say? The best stat is winning. The whole thing of winning isn't a QB stat is baloney. Maybe because your quarterback ain't done nothing like Joe Burrow, and now you want to bring that up. It's Real Talk with MJ. Y'all know we always keep it real. Tomorrow is Sixers Talk. We're going to talk about Tyrese Maxey, Jeremy McCain, Adam Bona, all that stuff, man. Look, appreciate y'all. We are